Hi, welcome everybody to the Very Connected live event podcast, our brand new forum. We're starting on Zoom here, starting in May here, and we are here to support the bariatric community with education, with support, and all kinds of topics related to bariatric surgery. And we're going to be talking today about nutrition. And I did a really deep dive into this topic, and I have all kinds of handouts, all kinds of fun things to share. If you're our first time joining us, say hi in the chat box. Let us know where you're from, if you're pre-op, if you're post-op, anything about your weight loss journey that you'd like to share, because this is all about you guys. A little bit about me, if this is your first time joining. My background is in nursing. I've been a nurse for as long as I can remember, and I've worked with thousands of bariatric patients, pre-op and post-op. I worked in a bariatric clinic before I worked with ProCare Health, who's our sponsor today. Shout out to ProCare. Let me know if you have heard of ProCare. I have certifications in both life coaching and a holistic practice called Healing Touch. I currently work with ProCare, and my main role is doing these kind of events. We offer weekly events on bariatric topics, monthly support groups, and intertwine my own bariatric surgery journey. That was back in 2013. I had the VSG. So that is a little bit about me. I'm going to kind of open up the chat box because it looks like we have all kinds of people joining in to say hello. Oh, I'm just looking at all the comments. Keep them coming, guys. We have from all over. Looks like we have some that are fresh post-op, some that are a little further out, from all over. Just hello to everybody. I'm reading all of them. So, okay. I love it, guys. Thank you so much. I want to read all of them. There is also a Q&A box. If you guys have any questions at all, please jump on the Q&A box and write your questions. I'm going to try to take time to answer as many of those as I can. I also went through every single one of your emails. I think we have about 210 or 250 people that's registered for this webinar. And so I went through every single one. I collected all of the questions and comments, and I hope to be able to do some of those as well. So, okay. Just read a few. Jennifer says, post-op 2 years and use ProCare vitamins. Thank you. From Minnesota. Kayla says, hello from Dakota. Tanya says, I live in Flagstone, Arizona. I use the ProCare vitamins and calcium. I'm having VSG 614. Oh, that warms my heart. So excited for this new journey for you. It looks like we have, oh gosh, the comments are coming so fast. It's hard to keep up with them. We also have Tracy, we have Amanda, we have Barbara, Mary, Kevin, Linda, Sasha, Vanessa, Ginger, Leslie, Amy, Linda, Jessica, Crystal, Tracy, Nancy, Jody, Linda, lots of Lindas, Lisa, Doris, Rebecca, Deborah, Amanda. Jana. I'm gonna kind of get us started here. And Kathy, Monique. Oh, guys, thank you so much for being here. And I'm gonna try to make this definitely worthwhile. You're going to see me sharing my screen at certain points, and I'm going to be sharing handouts and stuff. All of this can be accessed on our ProCare Health website. I will have links to those. I'm going to show you how to go about getting those too as well. So I'm going to share my screen here for just a quick second here. I'm going to go up, and on our ProCare Health website, you should be able to see this. It's just www.procarenow.com. I'll copy that, and I'll put it in the chat box. Right up here on the top, you're going to see something called Very Connected. We have just renamed ourselves, rebranded ourselves as far as these live events, and we're now called Very Connected. All of our live events are on replay. You will be able to use the link that you used for this webinar to access the replay. You can also go onto YouTube. They will be downloaded on YouTube within about a week. Okay, so just be watching for those there. We also are now going to be live on all kinds of podcast forums. So if you have a podcast, be sure that's your favorite, your favorite place like iTunes or iHeartRadio or Spotify. All of these are going to be downloaded there. We already have 2 episodes, our first 2 from the first of the month. Mercedes, who talked about mental health, and then we talked about yoga yesterday. That will be on there. And then we have one other with Kim from Active Bariatric Nutrition that kind of joined us, and she talked about nutrition for people who are athletes. So those have all been downloaded there. And on YouTube, we have over 150 downloads of video and different content as well. So right here on our ProCare site, Very Connected Support Group Hub. When you click on that, you're going to find all the upcoming events. That may be where you found me today, but just in case, any of the events that are on here, you're welcome to click on to. We'll be adding next month's here really soon. So when those disappear, you'll be able to access on YouTube, okay? Then for handouts for today's session, if you go under this next little tab, Support Group Handouts, under this tab, you're going to find all the handouts. Now, the session today is on nutrition, and it is at the very bottom. So don't get dizzy on me here if I'm going to go to the bottom of this. And we're right here. And these are all of the handouts for today. I don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different handouts. So I got lots of good stuff to go over, including the presentation, because I felt like it was helpful to include the presentation on there in case you have to jump off. Okay, no worries. It's on replay, and you also have these handouts to refer back to. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to kind of just go back and just check to see where we're at in the chat box. Okay. We have all kinds. We have Deanna, Shauna, Whitney, Chris, Takesha, Linda, Tanya, Robin. And guys, we have people joining from all different facilities. I send these reminders out to different facilities around the U.S. and also to Berry Nation. I want to welcome Berry Nation crew. Let me know if you're from Berry Nation. They're a community that shares bariatric content. We also are sharing excuse me, usually aren't sharing on Facebook. Today for these support groups, I kind of just keep it private and remote, and we just share here on this forum. So anyways, I noticed there's some question and answers. We'll be making sure. It looks like Deanna says, hello, Deanna, bypass 2018. Wonderful. Jody says, I had my gastric bypass January 17th. Let's see. I had my gastric bypass January 17th. I'm having real issues with my hair shedding. You know what? We actually have a whole session on hair loss. It's on our YouTube channel. You're welcome to go out there and check it out. We also have a handout on our handouts page that kind of talks about what we talk about on that live webinar. So check that out, Jody. I'm hoping that that will help you. And then let me know. You're welcome to send me a message. I'm going to put my email here too, because I'm always open to having that as well. Okay, I'm going to type this into everybody just in case anybody needs it. The other big question that always comes up is I do collect attendance for these. If your facility is, I guess, if they've told me that they want attendance from these, I do send attendance to about 40 different facilities for these events. If you're not sure if your facility gets attendance, check with them because I'm always happy to, approve or say that you attended this. If you need attendance verification for your facility, some patients have to have that pre-op in order to have surgery. They need it as an insurance requirement, a check mark for themselves. So just know that I will be sending that. It says, Laura says 4 more months for room Y. Just exciting. Just gives me chills. It's so life-changing. So I know, keep commenting, keep chatting amongst yourselves. I am here to I'll keep reading those as we're going through. And I'm going to jump on and start our presentation because I want to try to get as much content as possible. So you're going to see me sharing my screen. Okay, and I am going to go to Canva, which we're going to go here, and we're going to have to move my little boxes around. And we're going to do present, record, whoops, share. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys. Here we are starting Nutrition 101, creative ways to stay on track while leading a busy life. Now, if you're listening later, like if you're a later listener and you listen just on the podcast forum, you of course won't have these slides. So just go back to the ProCare Health, www.procarenow.com, and you'll be able to access all of this information, okay, under Bari Connected. So I'm going to kind of keep going. This is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the essentials. So meals, calories, macros. We're going to talk about planning, like your meal favorites. 5 favorite foods from each meal. We have a handout for that. We're also going to be talking about 5 favorite recipes, and we're going to have a handout for that. We're going to talk about making menus. We're going to be, and we have templates for that. Talking about grocery shopping. We have templates for pre-op and post-op in different stages. So we have all of that. We have a meal prep handout for you. We also have a full meal prep presentation that's on our YouTube channel too. If you ever want to go back, access that. That is on there for you to look at. We also have simplifying your daily routines and how to make your daily routine more mindless. So what I'm going to be doing is sharing a slide or two, and then I'm going to be kind of coming back and looking at the chat box because I do not have access to that as I'm sharing slides. So just be aware, I promise you I'll be kind of peeking over all of the chat. So the essentials. The big thing is every bariatric program is a little different. So bear with me. Your program may tell you something slightly different than I'm telling you, and that's okay. You know, different surgeons think differently, different dietitians think differently, different nurses. So be aware that the information out there may be slightly changed and maybe a little bit different. And so it's okay, you know, nothing is set in stone. These are just suggestions. I took a lot of the information that I had that we gave our patients whenever I worked in a bariatric program. I did that for about 8 years. I took the information that we shared and also the information I've learned from other dietitians as the journey has kind of continued, because we've had quite a few on our show, and we actually have a consultant, a dietitian we work really closely with. So that's kind of where I get a lot of my ideas. But just be aware that it is possible that some of these might be a little different from what your facility say throughout the presentation. So meals. I feel like, especially early on, small meals are helpful. You know, obviously you're going to be eating small meals anyways, but anywhere from 3 to 6. Now, if you're very early in the game, like right after surgery, it might be kind of hard to eat very much at all. And so you might feel yourself kind of snacking throughout the day. And I would say that's probably okay because, you know, if you only take a bite or two and then you're hungry an hour later, take another bite or two, whatever, you know, you can tolerate, but making sure you chew your food really good before swallowing. Now, I know that that's something likely you've heard over and over and over and over again, but I will tell you that that was one of the biggest problems that we found with our bariatric surgery patients when I was in the clinic setting, is we found we had a lot of patients coming back with nausea, vomiting, and issues right after surgery. And part of it is you're so used to, you know, seeing a certain amount on your plate. You're so used to eating a certain amount, and it's easy not to listen to those signals from your body. So when you take a bite of food, the thing is you're chewing it up, and then you're going to swallow the full amount. So if you put a lot in your mouth, you're going to swallow a lot at a time. So smaller bites, chew up good, and then during the maintenance phase, you know, try to get as many fruits and vegetables in. That is essential because you're going to be getting vitamins and minerals through that, not only just through your supplementation. Concentrated sweets. It's generally recommended that you try to eliminate as much of the, I'm going to call them concentrated sugars. That's things like cookies and things like that. I'm not saying that you have to eliminate them completely, but just be aware that a lot of times those can cause some nausea, can make you a little sick to your stomach. if you eat large amounts of those, obviously, because what happens is it's kind of like when you pour sugar on strawberries. All at once you have this liquidation that kind of occurs. The same thing happens when you put when you put sugar into your intestinal tract. It draws in all of this liquid, and then things just kind of move through your intestinal tract very quickly. So what will happen is sometimes people will find that they have to go to the bathroom, have a bowel movement right away after surgery, after those concentrated sweets, because things move very quickly. The other thing is it can cause your heart rate to go up very quickly because of the absorption being so quick and make you feel nauseated. Okay. Anybody experience that? And then fluids. Typically, it's recommended you avoid drinking 30 minutes before or after eating solid foods. And I would say that's probably generally more important early on. I know I am about 10 years out post-op, and I do sometimes drink with my meals, but I can tell that it definitely does fill me up some, and I tell a difference with that. So I am kind of going back. I'm going to see if I got some more comments here. We have Laura, we have Lisa. Lisa, yes, for Chi, we do a manual Chi. We do send attendance to them. I usually send attendance about a week post the events. So just know if you registered, I have your name, your email, your facility that you registered under. And obviously, if you have any concerns about that, you can always email me. It's usually about a week because I always allow for time for replays. It looks like we have Sam from Toronto, 5 years post-op and battling some regain. And I understand there is going to be some tips just to get back on the wagon from that, because I know that's common. It's one of those things, it happens. And a lot of the comments I got from you guys who were registering under the comment section were about regain. So we're definitely going to be addressing that. Whitney says, how do I get credit for this class? Just by being here. Just by being here, I can track your attendance. And again, if your facility is part of my list, I'll send it. And if you're concerned that they're not, you can always check with me. Kristen from Arizona, 11 years post-op. Life happening. I understand. What's the name of the Zoom meeting? So this Zoom meeting is basically on nutrition 101. Eva says, lap band 2006, took out 2009, fix it gastric sleeve 2010, gallbladder removal, hiatal hernia, 3rd week of liquids. Oh, yeah. Well, I hope that you're doing better. I hope that this takes care of things for you here. I hope so. And let me know if you have a specific question. Put it under the Q&A box too. Rebecca says, Laura and Kristen, how was the Roux-en-Y going for you so far? Yeah, chat amongst yourselves, guys. Help each other out. Answer questions. And Linda says, I experienced dumping. Not fun. Yeah. I've had the sleeve gastrectomy was my surgery, and I've experienced it just a few times. I don't think it's as common with the sleeve gastrectomy. But with a gastric bypass, I'd say it's a little bit more common. Probably not as much with lap band, with duodenal switch, those two. Although people with duodenal switch can have some other issues with having more bowel movements than normal. Okay, Laura says, quick after I eat, definitely not going out to eat, LOL. Yeah, it takes some time. One of my biggest things that I was scared about was going out to eat, because that's one of the things me and my husband love to do after surgery, and we still do it, but most of the time I just get a to-go box. Like I put a little bit on my plate and then I just take the rest home. And sometimes you have 2 or 3 meals, or split a meal. That's always good too. Laura says, definitely not fun. Jennifer says, I'm 3 years out, Roux-en-Y, totally lost a year. I'm falling off the wagon, added too many carbs and gained 15 pounds. Need to reset my diet again. Yeah. So hopefully this is going to give you some pointers for doing that, because it does happen. I mean, for me, whenever I had bariatric surgery, I'm 5'6". My weight, it was 225. And sometimes I almost feel bad sharing that, because I know some people that's their goal weight. But for me, that was a heavy weight. I met the criteria. My body mass index was 35. I did lose down to, I think, about 160, something like that, the first year. The second year, I actually lost another 15 pounds. I think my lowest weight was around 145. Right now, over the next, I'd say 4 or 5 years, I kind of gained some weight back. My weight has stayed stable probably about the last 5 years. And right now I'm about 170 to 180 is what my weight is right now. So, I mean, it's staying stable. I'm not losing a lot more right now. I'm 5 years out, 10 years out, but my weight is, fortunately enough, I'm kind of not really gaining a lot right now, but I understand it's a lifelong journey, guys. You know, a lot of times people's weights will do that, you know, over time. You'll see the biggest changes the first couple years after surgery. And then I will tell you, there is always hope though. I've seen so many people be able to go back and lose weight even after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So it is possible. So I'm giving you hope there. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again here, guys. And okay. And this picture here was taken at the Bariatric retreat. I'll give a little shout out. Some of the retreats coming up. The Bariatric Society puts on a retreat every year. This year, I believe it's in San Antonio. You can go to the Bariatric Society and their webpage and check that out. Yeah. Okay. I clicked. It's going the wrong direction. Okay, essentials. So calories. A lot of times people want to know, like, how many calories, how many macros, and we're going to be talking a little bit about this, but I'll also tell you one of the biggest tricks you can do. The biggest tricks you can do is just tracking your food, becoming more mindful. And then you know exactly what you're taking in, what you're taking out. You can start eliminating foods or adding foods based on, your calories, based on your macros. It's easier to talk to a dietitian or a surgeon or a nurse about your diet if you kind of have something more concrete to talk about. So, there's starting points. I'd say the first week after surgery, maybe 400 calories. Sometimes it's 600. Sometimes it's less. It just depends on how you're tolerating things. Progressing up to 600 to 800 calories by maybe weeks 3 or 4. And these are just estimates, guys. And then 12 to 1500 calories several months after. And then I'd say that first year and on, maybe 1500, 1800. I know there's times I can eat 2000 or 2500 or 3000 if I really tried. You can get a lot of extra calories too, guys, from liquids. So you kind of got to be careful about your liquids because those are calories as well. So these are broad ranges, not to be taken too literally. What I would say is if you're looking to lose weight or you're looking to kind of get back on the bandwagon, start tracking and just kind of see where you're at. You don't even have to quote diet because I don't even like to use that because this is a lifestyle change. I would say just kind of like monitor where you're at and see what your normal intake is so that you kind of know where you're going. And this is Brittany. She and I did, we rented an Airbnb about a year ago and did a bunch of cooking demos. This was on pizza. Bariatric Pizza Party is what we called it, and that is on our YouTube channel as well. So we have all kinds of recipes there and on our handouts page on our website. Okay, essentials, macros. So one of the biggest things people do ask about is macros, and I knew I had to put it on here. I'm going to say I have seen dietitians give different percentages here. So be aware that these percentages may differ from program to program. So just kind of take this with a grain of salt, but protein 40%, carbs 30%, and fat 30% of your daily intake. Some apps will actually track that for you, like Bariatric. I think MyFitnessPal maybe tracks macros. And then we have ranges of how many grams per day. So protein 60 to 100, carbs 40 to 60% of your daily intake, up to 130 grams, and fat 20 to 35%. Now, there are a lot of different kinds of diets out there. Sometimes people will ask about keto. Sometimes people will ask about vegetarian. We have, I would say, if it works for you, it works for you. There are some diets that are a little harder to stick on and be with the bariatric diet. Those are more one-on-one, I would say more one-on-one conversations. We do have a vegetarian-based diet, some recommendations, also on our YouTube channel, on one of our playbacks, on one of our replays. But also there's lots and lots of dietitians out there. I'd say reach out to your bariatric program if you have a specific question about macros and about your own specific diet. But hopefully this will give you a little bit of help. Now there is a handout. I'm going to kind of stop sharing here. I'm going to go to the chat first before I do anything else and see. I'm going to kind of browse over comments since we have so many, guys. And I want to kind of keep going because I want to stay on track. So I'm not just seeing if there's anything I need to answer. Okay, I appreciate you guys. It looks like Denise says I'm 1.5 years post-op, 80 grams protein, 50 carbs a day. Calories are 12 to 1,300. It's so hard to eat fruit on 50 calories a day, and I think it's necessary at my stage add any more. What I would say is, you can always try to add more and then see kind of what happens. If you're tracking your foods, it sounds like you're tracking pretty good, and see if your weight goes up or goes down. Sometimes those things will actually fill you up and you're going to find you lose weight, because you're not snacking. For me, if I'm craving, like I had one of the comments that I got on the pre-emails, the registration emails, was on cravings. There was actually 2 of them on cravings and craving sweets. And, if you're eating something that's more of a natural sweet, like strawberries, I had some strawberries a while ago, or an apple or an orange, sometimes those can help with the cravings, and they'll also help with keeping you on track where you're not so hungry, like if you're doing that in between. So, it's possible that it could actually help you. It looks like you're Laura says 5 foot, 234, bad, and 185 now. Yeah, so you're right in there with me. Crystal says, Tracy, I got the revision done for GERD and it instantly improved. Oh my gosh, yes. I've heard that so many times. It definitely is a helper. Okay. I'm going to actually take a couple of the Q&A too, real quickly here. Okay. What name would I use to find you on YouTube? Go to ProCare Health. I'll actually, I'll be sharing that here in just a little bit, guys. It's ProCare Health. Let me see. ProCare Health. I'll copy it and paste it and put it in the chat box. ProCare Health Vitamins and Supplements is the name of our YouTube channel, and here is the link. I'll paste it right now in the chat box. Okay, I just put answer live, and I don't know if it'll let me, I don't think it'll let me comment there. So I just put it in the regular chat box. Here's one. Do you have any tricks for those of us who work 12 hours night shifts? I'm struggling what to eat when I'm tired. Yes, 100%. For me, one of the biggest things is pre-planning. And we're going to be talking about pre-planning because having snacks along with you to keep you satisfied is great, and having meals kind of lined out is helpful, where it makes it mindless. You think it's a lot of work, but it's really not. So I would say having a couple things in mind, and we're going to be talking about that, going over that quite a bit, actually. Okay, Vanessa asked what the name of our YouTube channel. I think I answered that. Robin says, this is Robin. I'm 1 week post-op, had the sleeve. Has anyone broke out in a painful red hives? Tried Benadryl. The Benadryl, I would say, is great. It depends on where the hives are. Some people will actually break out with the cleansers that they use on your skin. So if it's right in the abdominal area, I'd say it's probably from the cleansers or iodine they used. If it's all over your body, it could be a pain medication. It could be one of the antibiotics they gave you. If it's in one specific spot, like by an IV, it might be more from inflammation around that. So I'd say it depends on where it's at. I would definitely talk to your bariatric surgery program though, for sure. But we did have, I've seen a lot of patients have post-op hives and itching, especially on their abdominal area from the different kinds of things they use to clean the skin. Oops. Okay. Jody says, do you measure out food? If so, what process do you use? I've went through different stages in my journey. I do have a food scale, and I have done that. I've done it whenever I've wanted to be more mindful of my portion size and knowing how much 4 ounces of meat is or 3 ounces of meat is or how much, certain weights are. So I do feel like it's helpful. It's not something I have to use all the time, but I do find that it's helpful. And you can find those on Amazon, and they're really inexpensive. The Allegra hives have been great for me. Jessica says. Okay. Linda says, I went on Ozempic for the weight gain after 2 years of gastric bypass. I'm happy to say it's working, and hopefully I can change my eating habits and stay stable. So Linda, I'm so happy for you. And there is so many different medications out there right now on the market that have improved people's health post-bariatric surgery. Don't be afraid, guys, to reach out. Don't be afraid to go to your provider and ask for help, because this is something, if you need help, get help. Ozempic, there's Mounjaro, there's so many out there. And there's other ones too, that's been tried and true as well, like Contrave, Phentermine. There's a lot of different things. So please don't, if you're struggling with weight regain, that's one suggestion you can go to, is to try some medications to help you get back. Angela says, do you recommend being more aware of calorie count or food each meal? I was told that I should be eating about 1 cup of food per meal for bypass, and that keeps me around 800 to 1,000 calories. So Angela, it depends. If you're wanting to lose weight, I'd say making sure that you're feeling, I want to say full, but making sure that you feel content with what you're eating, and that you're getting the most bang for your buck. Because, for example, one donut, that's going to add up to a lot of food on your plate, but is it really going to make you satisfied? So kind of balancing the carbs with the protein. I hope that makes sense. I hope that answers your question. I'd say it's more about the quality of the foods that you're eating, and also the calories do make a difference, I would say, but I would definitely recommend making sure the quality of the foods, like different kinds of protein, you might be able to get more satisfaction from and get your blood sugar more stabilized where you're not so hungry. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, guys, before I go back to more question answers, I'm going to keep going, and I'll come back to the Q&A again here very soon. So I'm going to exit out of that. I'm going to keep with the presentation. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. And I am actually going to go to the handouts page. Whoops. Oh, that's where you find us. I have too many windows open. Okay, give me 1 second. I apologize about that. Okay, I'm going to just share my host screen again, and I'm going to go here. And we are going to go, this is our ProCare Health YouTube page. I actually have a bunch of tabs open, so I'm just going to share what I have open. It's ProCare Health Vitamin Supplements. We just started sharing this, but you're going to see lots and lots of videos and lots of replays. I'm going to go up to our support group hub page, and I'm going to show you, again, Very Connected Support Group Hub. Here's our handouts. One of the very first handouts is our presentation. So you do have access to that. Our next handout here is resources for tracking and mindful eating. So I want to just kind of say there are some different mobile apps. I have a few of them listed. I am doing a very, very thorough rundown of 25 different apps at our support group next month, guys. So this is a very minimal little tracking sheet, but I have 25 different ones on our support group for next month. So be watching for that. Our next handout here is our maintenance shopping list for food categories, and we're going to be talking about that next. So let me kind of jump off of here, and I'll explain that a little bit more during our presentation. So I'm going to be going to the actual presentation itself. Here we go. Okay, go back to share. Here we go. Okay, that's what happens when you change. I'm gonna go back 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is where we were before. It lost me a little bit there. Okay, so the next slide here we have is planning simplifies things. And I talked a little bit about this, but really it's about making your decision making easy. You know, if you work night shift, if you're traveling, like you're on the road a lot, I know I've talked to people who drive a truck. I've talked to people who have a lot of small children. I've talked to people who, you know, work as a nurse like me, and work long shifts or work in a factory where you work long shifts. So really it's about planning. And one thing that I love doing, we have 2 shopping lists, which I'm going to be sharing with you. And just to kind of make a checklist of maybe 5 items in each category that you really like. And you can rinse and repeat this list. Like this is one, maybe it's a list that you start and you just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So like just having some major go-tos so that it's not like you're having to think about it so much. So under our maintenance shopping list that we have listed, and I'll show you the link here in just a moment, you could pick out 5 selections of your favorite meats, 5 selections of your favorite dairy products, 5 selections of your favorite grains, 5 of your vegetables, fruit, snacks. And then when you go grocery shopping, the grocery shopping list, you can make check marks by that or just make your own little simple grocery shopping list and pick from those items. Maybe you pick all 5, you know, if you're grocery shopping for a couple of weeks, or maybe you just pick a couple. But it gives you some ideas of things that you can do that are easy. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually share a couple slides and then I'll go to the handouts and kind of share those as well. So here is favorite recipes. We're going to talk about doing the same thing with recipes. So you take those foods that you had from your last list, and then you go to Pinterest, or you go to Google, or you go to your recipe book, and you find some really simple, fast, you know, recipes that are easy, and you list them out. There are some that I have listed here at the bottom of this resource recipe page right here at the bottom. See if you guys, it checked, it made me move pages. Right here, there's some that I looked up that are sites for saving recipes. And I think I have a little spell error there, but it's sites for saving recipes like Kitchen's Recipe Box, Big Oven, Dish Dip, or Dish, the Recipe Box, Paprika, and Pinterest. Now, I have no association, nor does ProCare, with any of these sites. Like, we're not affiliated whatsoever. These are just suggestions for you guys to use. You can also, I use on my phone, like I use the little button, the notes button sometimes for making my grocery list out or for saving recipes. But these are more formal ways. You know, you look at your breakfast, you look at your lunch, you look at your dinner, and you look at your snacks and mix and match. You know, I would say look at your favorite foods. Like if you really like hamburger, find a couple hamburger recipes. If you really like eggs, find a couple eggs recipes. So I'm actually going to stop sharing here for just a second. And I am going to share real quickly those handouts. Okay, I have to escape out of this. Okay, and we're going to go up to the handouts. So up here, guys, I have the favorites. This is one of the handouts that you have, a maintenance shopping list. A checklist for your favorite foods, you know, 5 of each. And then I have a list for your recipes as well. So you have both of those in the handouts on our website. And then we're going to next be talking about the sample meal menu. And this is this is about like kind of thinking out. If you're really a planner and you're wanting to kind of start planning meals for you, for your family, or for whoever, this is kind of, again, a rinse and repeat thing. You find some different sample menus that you really like. Now, this one here is one that's kind of made out for you just for ideas, but there's also a blank one underneath of it. And I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to read some comments, and we're going to go back to the presentation here for just a second. Okay. Okay, Laura says, I drank some cucumber apple juice yesterday. It hurt like a heart attack. Ugh. Why would that happen? Sorry, guys. My screen is updating. Okay. Sometimes I had a friend that had bariatric surgery, and for whatever reason, apple juice did that for her too. I don't know why, if there's some kind of chemical in it. Be aware that everybody's bodies react differently to different things. Some people will tolerate eggs really well. Some people won't. Some people will tolerate milk products really well. Some people won't. Some people tolerate chicken really well. Some people don't. What I would say is, when you're starting a new food, maybe try little amounts. And I would say it's not that same food is always going to react the same way too, because dairy is kind of one of those things for me. Sometimes I'll try to reintroduce it and I do well, but I just am very cautious. So the next time if you do reintroduce it, I would say just take it very slow. It looks like Dorothy's saying she takes Mounjaro for diabetes, and it helps. She said, I'm not hungry, but it does make things taste weird. My husband has been on Mounjaro. He's also taken Ozempic, and he's lost about 30 pounds. He's not had weight loss surgery, but it's been really helpful, and it's really helped get his blood sugars under control. So I'm a firm believer in some of these things. Linda says, thank you. I had to go get help for my weight loss from my doctor. I was going into depression. Weight started coming back, and I was very disappointed. The Ozempic is helping me get a fresh start. And so, yeah, it's so great to be able to do that. And oh my gosh, Jerry, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the links. That's so sweet. So appreciated. I need you as a cohort here. Okay, I'm going to be jumping onto the presentation, and then I'll be going into Q&A here again very, very shortly. So bear with me. You're going to see the presentation here pop up again, guys. Okay. Right here, present and share. Okay. So make out 1 to 2 weeks of menus. Okay. That is a suggestion. And then just kind of see how you do with it. You can always change, you can always say, on here, I even put the vitamins at the top. If you're taking your calcium and vitamin D, you always want to separate that out from your bariatric multivitamin, whether you take it in the morning or whether you take it in the evening, but making a plan for that so that you don't have to think about it. When it's on paper, it's out of your mind, and you don't have to recircle thinking about, oh, I should be eating, I should be taking my vitamins, I should be drinking water. You could even add water onto this, how you're wanting to get your fluids in. Maybe at 10 o'clock you're drinking, you want to have a certain goal amount of fluids in between there. So there's just some ideas here, protein shakes, apple plus peanut butter, mozzarella sticks and nuts, protein shakes or protein bars, jerky and cheese. These are all snacks that I'm just labeling. But I also have some different kinds of foods kind of listed too, just to give you some ideas. So I hope that's helpful. But it's something that you guys can do. And at the bottom of the menu sheets, you'll also notice that there's like a little area here at the bottom that talks about how you want to plan your vitamins, how much protein goal you want, how much fluids you want a day, like pre-planning that. And maybe even have like little things that you have a calendar for, like you put a check mark or you smiley face on these menus when you actually do it. Because, if you're monitoring yourself, you're being accountable to someone, and being accountable to yourself is a wonderful place to be. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm actually going to go to the Q&A next. Okay. Okay, looks like somebody says, is it shingles? And I think they're actually talking about the person with the rash. I don't know. I'm going to go back through the comments and see if there was anything else that you have to say about that, about the rash. But yeah, definitely have it checked out by a provider, because there's so many different kinds of rashes. There's allergic reaction rashes. There's rashes from an infection. So I would just be careful with that. Someone's asking, so I just got an upper endoscopy so I can be approved for the sleeve. Is it normal to have pain when eating or drinking after? I would say not normal to have pain, but maybe normal to have inflammation, like maybe a little bit of hoarseness, maybe a bit of like dryness. And that should probably only last a day or two. I wouldn't think it would last much longer than that. I would talk to the doctor and see, maybe they somehow abrase something. Make sure hopefully you're not having any other symptoms like throwing up or anything like that along with it. But I would say not for a long period of time, maybe just briefly for a couple days. And I wouldn't think it'd be horrible. I mean, it shouldn't be like not able to eat or drink, but irritation, they take the scope and they actually go down to the back of your throat. They go down your esophagus, they enter your stomach, and they kind of look around. And, if your area is dry back there when they're doing that, it can be abrased. It's kind of like, your skin. You're moving an instrument against your skin, and you know how you can get like a little scratch. So I wouldn't think it'd be real severe. Hopefully that helps. If you continue to have it, I definitely have it more checked out. Tracy said, this is my first baby step to get this done. I'm scared that I won't get this right. I have been doing research for 2 years and I'm ready, but just scared how to get over the jitters. Okay. Tracy, I'm going to tell you, I just read Tracy's question about being scared before surgery. And for me, I can understand. I don't know that I'm going to be really honest. I don't know if I would have ever had weight loss surgery if I didn't work in a weight loss surgery clinic and I worked there for a year before I had weight loss surgery. And I don't know that I would have been able to have the bravery to do it unless I saw all of the patients coming through that had such good outcomes. I actually collected the data on outcomes for our facility, so I knew exactly the good, bad, and ugly. I knew everything from our program standpoint. And what it came down to was I'm more scared of staying the same or more scared of something happening during surgery. And I was more scared of staying the same. So I don't know if that helps you, but that was me. Okay. And then Ginger says, what is the website we go to for these handouts and recipes? It is www.procarenow.com. And I will share that one more time here because I know some people join late. Okay. And at the top menu is the drop-down button from Bari Connected. It's one of the tabs across the top. So I'll paste that here. Bari Connected. Okay. It looks like Linda says, I researched for a long time also. You can do it. It is scary, but it's so worth it. Yes. I mean, it is very rare, very, very rare. I probably have seen over 7,000 bariatric surgery patients, maybe more than that, really and truly, after going to retreats and going to these conferences. And it is extremely, extremely rare. I mean, probably less than I can count on my one hand that I've ever heard people say that they regretted it. Most people say, I wish I would have done it sooner. Yeah, but I understand. I mean, it is surgery. But the good thing is, these surgeries, a lot of these are gold standard. It's been 30 years in the works that they've been doing these surgeries, and these doctors have so much education about how they work and can avoid having complications. So thank you. And it looks like Whitney says, with the sleeve, do you lose hair? Are you afraid of complications with living in the change? Okay. So the two questions with the sleeve, do you lose hair? I did. I'm not going to lie. I feel like part of it is not just the absorption problem. That is part of it, but sometimes the anesthesia, sometimes, you're not getting enough protein and other minerals and nutrients in your diet. So make sure you're taking your vitamins. the stress of the surgery is something. So regardless of the type of surgery, I did the same thing with my children. When I had my children, I lost hair. I did the same thing when I had pneumonia. So, I mean, I feel like I would say it's usually temporary for most people, guys. Like what I've seen is you start noticing it around 3 months, it peaks around 6 months, and by about 9 months to a year, you have all these regrowth, like little pieces of hair that's regrowed. Last year, I guess it's been a year and a half, I lost a lot of hair after having, I had COVID, and I had several deaths in the family within just a short period of time. I had gotten very sick, and I lost a lot of hair from that. And actually, my hair is growing back now. You can kind of tell. If you look at some of my pictures on the website, I have a lot of hair, but I did notice a lot. And I actually got extensions. So I have extensions in my hair now just to add some thickness. So that's always something too. I know a lot of people have done that. Okay, guys, I'm going to go back. We are at 10 minutes till, so I'm going to finish this little presentation. I'm going to go with more questions and answers. I'm going to share my screen once more here. Okay. I have so much stuff open. Apologize here. Go to this. We are going to the nutrition, and I'm going to just go ahead and finish out our few little slides that we have left. Actually share. I usually just share on a slide screen instead of doing it on Canva, but I thought it was neat, the little sliders, like you have little fun things. Grocery shopping. So again, you guys, the 2 grocery lists that I'm going to be showing you, I'll show you the handouts for those. We have one for maintenance, and we have one for pre and post-op, like fresh post-op patients. We have those. So make sure and use those when like making out those shopping lists. Meal prep. I can't say enough about meal prep. You know, I'm not a huge meal prepper, but whenever I bake chicken, I always bake extra, and I either put it in the refrigerator or I freeze it so that it's quick and easy to stick in, because when you're already making it, you might as well make more. You can make different variations. When you're making vegetables, you can do the same. Here's where I'm making a whole sheet pan. I usually put it in the oven. Check my temperatures. I have a whole sheet pan here of carrots, cauliflower, and broccoli. I love doing that. I love putting Parmesan cheese on those. You know, things like that usually last a couple days. You know, if you're not a big leftovers fan, make stuff that actually is reheatable. Here's salad in a jar. That was one of our ideas that we did on our meal prep video. So those are just some fun little things, you know, just test some things out. I actually made a salad about 2 nights ago, and it's still in my refrigerator. We've been eating on it now for a couple days. The thing is salads are better preserved when you don't put like cheese on them or tomatoes. That's what I'm learning, but they're still good. Okay. And simplifying your daily routine. Some of these things I've mentioned, but the bring along snacks, making sure that you have plenty of snacks, because when you get hungry, guys, it's so much easier to have a go-to. I usually keep nuts, like the little packages of nuts, the single servings. Mozzarella sticks is another one of my favorites. Protein bars is another favorite. Protein shakes is another favorite. I'm trying to think of all the things that I like as snacks. I also like crackers. I'm not going to lie. That's always an easy one. Breakfast bars. You know, put it on your list when you're going grocery shopping. Make sure tuna, the little cans of tuna, the little cans of chicken, those are always easy. You can also make a go-to healthy restaurant list so that you know where your favorite places, even fast food, you know. Make sure that you have some ideas in mind so that you're not having to think, and lose the all or nothing mindset, the perfectionist mindset. I found that that's been one of the big things to keep me stuck. You know, you can always restart in the middle of the day. Like, let's say for breakfast, you maybe felt like you had a little more than what you should have, or you didn't. You don't have to say, I'm waiting until tomorrow. You can just start where you are right now. Say you didn't work out this morning and you feel like you want to get some physical activity. There's nothing wrong with taking a 5 to 10 minute walk if that's all you can fit in for your day. You know, lose the all or nothing mindset. And in summary, the essentials. So choose the essentials, you know, choose what things that you really want. If you want to focus on your protein, your fruits and vegetables, depends on what stage, of course, where you're at, because every stage is different. look at some of your favorites. Make it easy and mindless. Choose 5 of your favorites for your meal planning, or maybe it's just 2. You know, find a couple things that your go-to. Make menus, you know, those are easy ways. Make sure you have a grocery shopping list on hand so that it's easier when you get in the grocery store and you're not just grabbing whatever. Meal prep, because that makes it easy. And some of these things may feel overwhelming. I can remember thinking about weight loss surgery and thinking, oh my God, and I knew all I did. I knew all I knew. I was our education coordinator. I was the bariatric coordinator for the program I work for. And whenever I had weight loss surgery, and I can still remember feeling overwhelmed. Just take it day by day. Take it day by day. That's all you can do. Don't overwhelm yourself, step by step. It's all okay. It really is. It really is. And make things more simple. I have a couple more slides. I think we're done with the summary. If it'll let me share. Oh, we are actually at the end, so that's good. Okay, I'm going to escape out of there. I'm going to go to the handouts here. So we already shared the recipe mix and match. We've shared the menu plans. Here we have the maintenance shopping list. I told you I would just kind of show you a screenshot of that. It's actually a couple pages. It's just basically, to me, it gives you ideas, if nothing else. Even if you don't print this and use it at the grocery store, it kind of gives you ideas, some healthy choices. Excuse me, there's little asterisks by the fruits and vegetables that are higher in starches. Some people watch that, but if you're not concerned and you're just wanting to eat healthy, then you have a big variety there. And then the fresh post-op shopping list could even be, pre-op depending, but it has some lists of clear liquids. We have some list of full liquids, pureed foods, and we have some soft foods and some solid foods, just to give you some ideas. A lot of times your weight loss surgery program will also do that for you. And then we also have meal prep ideas. So we have a whole list of meal prep ideas that you can check out too. Hopefully I didn't overwhelm you with too much information. I know that's a lot. Okay. And I'm going to take a couple more questions and answers because we're almost at time. I have one in the Q&A box that I'm going to go to. We've answered that. So I'm going to look back over the chat and just kind of real quickly. It's way back. You guys are chatty. I love it. There's so much chatting going on. I'm just going to browse very quickly over that and see if there's anything that I can see. And Eva says, starting all over again. Square one, Sutter Health Bariatrics. We'll start mushy food tomorrow. What's mushy food? I'd say mushy food means soft foods. So you can look at that soft food, fresh post-op menu if you'd like. So hopefully that'll help. Tracy says, I'm working on getting a revision due to GERD, sleeved in 2016. Honestly, I've heard so much success with revisions. So if anybody out there is having problem with regain, make sure and see your doctor. There are revisional procedures that can help with regain. You know, you can have, sometimes insurance covers it, sometimes it doesn't. But if you are considering it and you're thinking about maybe having another procedure, that's always an idea. You know, there's so many different options out there. Dennis said, it's Denise, I think, or Dennis. I only seen parts of the names. I'm 1.5 years post-op and still trying to stay with the plan given to me by my clinic, which is 80 grams of protein and 50 of carbs. Oh, I think we answered that one already. Or maybe I didn't. It's hard to eat fruit on 50 calories, and I think it's necessary. Yes, I think I did answer that one. Okay, I'm going to kind of skip down. Okay. Okay. I'm so excited that so many of you guys are just talking amongst yourself and helping each other out. You know, one of those things, some dietitians will say for snacks in between meals to try to avoid, like after a certain amount of time, to try to avoid the shakes and protein bars and eating like real food. To me, it's all about convenience. I think whatever fits into your lifestyle, you know, you have to find out what's right for you. Obviously, real food, a lot of times, like real like protein and things may make you more satisfied, but you know, it's whatever works with your lifestyle. Okay. So guys, I'm going to go down to the newest messages. Thank you guys all so much. You guys are all so wonderful. I love you all. Hopefully this all helps. I'm going to go back to our website for those people just kind of kicking on. We do have samples of somebody asked about samples of our products. We do have samples. I'll show you how to get those. And Glinda says, is it okay to eat smoked meats? I would say eating smoked meats is a wonderful thing. I do it all the time. Me and my husband live on a farm, and we smoke. We actually have a smoker, and we smoke almost every day. I love smoked meats. I love jerky and things like that. I'd say just make sure and chew it up really well, because sometimes they can tend to be a little drier. But yes, and they're a lot leaner, like venison, beef. A lot of times you can find really lean cuts when you're smoking also as well. So I'm going to go to our ProCare Health website, www.procarenow.com. And I'm just going to give a shout out to ProCare. I am in love with them. Honestly, I found out about ProCare whenever I worked in a bariatric clinic, and I went to conferences and I learned about them. We actually sold 3 or 4 different products out of our clinic, but ProCare was always our patient's top favorite because it's low priced, guys. Our biggest seller product is our bariatric multivitamin. It's only $11.99, guys, for a month's supply. When you click onto the website, there's a 90 count bottle and a 30 count bottle. A 30 count bottle, if you're just wanting it to buy it month by month, is $11.99, guys, with a subscription. So, you know, with larger quantities, you're going to save even more. So that's one of our biggest products. I also say we also have calcium supplements. Some of our patients are in love with our calcium supplements. To me, they're my favorite out there. Of course, I'm a little biased, but I have to say that many of our products are made with something called TrueCal, which makes them very smooth, and you don't get the aftertaste that you have with calcium citrate. They're soft, they're chewy. We have sea salted caramel, we have dinner mint, we have cinnamon roll. And if you've not tried them before, try them. We actually have a little button, and I'm hoping that we have it up here on our website because we just changed websites. We usually have a free sample button. Yep. If you click this button right here, it brings you to their home menu, and it says interested in a free sample, click here. When you do that, you just fill out a short little form and you can get free samples. No cost whatsoever, all different kinds of products. But yeah, check out, we have all different kinds of products. We have protein supplements. This last year, we came out with all different kinds of different types of protein, chocolate, vanilla, and then we have our Liquicell, which is some of our patients' favorites. They're like little shooters of protein, especially if you're early on in the game and you're looking for something very fast and easy. So that's everything I have, guys. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right there. Oh, I also wanted to share real quickly. I got to share this. I know we're a little bit over on time, but I also want to share here one more time, our YouTube channel. I was going to talk about if you have a hard time tolerating your protein shakes, we have a little video on that. I was going to share that, but I'm going to not do that because of time's sake. We have a whole list of videos on our ProCare Health website. Top bariatric 10 frequently asked questions. And they're all of these videos are only about 1 minute to 2 minutes each, that I would strongly recommend if you're having any kind of issues or you have some frequently asked questions. Our ProCare Health website, let me go to our channel. We have all of our replays. If you go to playlist here, I'll show you that. So we have our fitness. We have a couple of fitness ones. We have ProCare 101 with Brenda. I have about, I think there's 17 or 20 videos there. We have our recipes. So we have lots of recipes there. We have the frequently asked questions, live topics. We probably have 150 live topics, those ones that I was kind of talking about during this program. And then our support groups, just like this. We have lots of support groups. We've been doing these for 2 years. So we have all of those recordings on there as well. Stop sharing. I'll click so that you guys can click on our channel. And I welcome you to subscribe to our channel because you're gonna get notifications when we put new videos on there. So let me go to the chat box. I'll stop sharing. And I'm gonna put our YouTube channel on there. There you go again. So I think we're just about at time. Let's see. I answered how do you get sample packs, so we're done with that. Go to our website, and it looks like, does your protein powder dissolve well in hot and cold? I would say, I know we have a lot of patients that use it with both. My recommendation with coffee and things like that, people make proffies with it all the time because I see them on Instagram and I've tried it before. Sometimes it will kind of get a little bit mushy. I've seen people use the little coffee blenders. I don't know if you've seen them before. They're just like little tiny things you put in your coffee cup and blend. Or if you add it with just room temperature water first, just a little bit, and kind of liquefy it and then add it with your hot water, that might even do better. Try it with hot, see how it works. But I have heard a few people say that it did kind of get a little bit cloggy, but then I also see a lot of videos on Instagram and on TikTok where people are just making them without having to premix. Thank you all so much. I'm going to put my email again just in case anybody has anything particular that they need to ask me. If you registered for this event and you're here, I will have your name and your email in order to send to your facility. If your facility participates in attendance list, getting attendance list, so I can send that. If you have a facility that you need me to pre-approve that you're not sure that I send attendance to, I usually do it in about a week. So let me know. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, and it looks like Ashley says she has a single serve and just pours it in her hot coffee, no problem. So that's good to know. Thank you for sharing that. A whisk, that's the word, a whisk. A whisk works where to blend it up, says Linda. And you can use it more water than it calls for. Yes, you can actually make our protein shakes as a shooter, like a little shot. You can make them into a pudding. You can make them into a shake, or you can make them even more liquefied, like with milk, or you can use water. So that's good. The big things about our protein shakes, we worked with a dietitian for about 2 years to make it her dream product. They have electrolytes in them, so if you're working out, we also have a little belly blend so that it doesn't hurt your stomach. They're made with whey protein, which is some of the most highest quality protein out there. That's generally what dietitians recommend. So hopefully I answered some of your questions. Check them out. Get a sample if you want to just try them. So thank you, everybody. Much love. Have a great evening, and I'm signing off. This will be on replay with the same link, or you can check it out on YouTube in about a week. Or go to a podcast channel, and you can check out our podcast. So take care, subscribe. Love you guys. See you at our next event.